What's up, airplane collectors? Welcome to a model airplane review. I'm your host, Ray. Today, I'll be reviewing the Gemini Jets 1-400 scale Jetblue Airways Airbus A320 in the Spotlight tail livery. Item number GJJBU2289, released for June and July of 2025. In this video, I'll review the model, after which I'll list off its pros and cons. At the end, I'll decide whether or not I recommend this model to other collectors. The box is made from cardstock. The packaging is made from plastic. This box measures 15 centimeters long, 4.5 centimeters wide, and 15 centimeters tall. I will show you around the box now. This is the front, bottom, right side, top, left side, and the back side. This box features a flap on the front that allows you to see the model inside of its protective packaging. Underneath this flap is information about the Airbus A320 family and the specific aircraft. Included in the box is the model as shown here, fully assembled, painted, and ready to display. Let's do a quick 360 before I begin my review. The fuselage length for this model is 9.4 centimeters. The wingspan is 8.4 centimeters, and the height is 3.1 centimeters. These dimensions are mostly accurate to 1-400 scale. This model is made primarily out of die-cast metal. The wheels on the landing gear are made out of rubber. Beginning with the fuselage, the nose shape on this model is mostly accurate to that of the A320. It's not perfect, but it gets the job done. The fuselage features a lot of small details. Take note of the various printed details in the form of the doors, the logos, the windows, and the small stencils. All of those look really good. The placement on all of those seems correct as well. No complaints. As we pan down the fuselage and hit the tail area, we see the spotlight livery come into play. The application of the spotlights look pretty good, as does the blue paint for the rest of the fuselage. The colors seem accurate as well. No complaints. Same story with the vertical stabilizer. This part looks really nice as well. The shape seems mostly accurate. I do see some recessed panel line for the rudder. You can barely see it, but it's there, so that's good. Most importantly, the spotlights from the vertical stabilizer line up with those on the fuselage. That's something that's rather difficult to do, but thankfully Gemini managed to do that. As with the fuselage, the colors up here look very accurate. The only issues I can think to point out are maybe a sign of this being previously broken or something like that. I'm looking at the glue right here, and I can just see that it was attached with glue, but that's really it. And of course, some minor staining on the white paint, but those are really nitpicks. No complaints. Here on the right side, I have a few more things that are actually worthy of complaining about. First, in the recessed panel line for the rudder, I do see some paint bubbling in here, so I'm not sure what happened there. It's very minor, though. It's very minor. Also here, some of the red stenciling doesn't line up with the gray that goes around the horizontal stabilizer joint there. Not that big of a deal. Let's move down the fuselage now. Everything I've said about the left side is applicable to the right side in terms of the fuselage. The fuselage is pretty good, and so far across the model we've only seen minor issues. The wings on this model are pretty nice as well. They feature all of the details that we're looking for. All of the recessed panel lines for the control surfaces and aero surfaces are clearly defined. No complaints there. I do see on one of the flat fairings right here, there appears to be a stain. I haven't been able to scratch it off yet, but this isn't a paint defect. It's merely a stain, which I can clean off, so it's not that big of a deal. The printed detail in the form of the stencils here looks good, and the silver paint on the leading edge slats, it's a bit hard to see, but it's there, and that looks nice as well. The fuselage attachment with the aircraft is almost perfect up here. I don't really see much of a seam there. I do see a larger gap towards the leading edge, but it's by no means something worthy of complaining about. On the underside of the wing here, the attachment seems good. There is a small gap, but that's to be expected, well within acceptable margins. While we're down here, let's talk about the rest of the wing. There's no printed detail down here, not that there really needs to be, but the detail that is present is accurate and very nicely done. The fence tip wingtips on these models are very nice. The color is accurate, the shape is very good. No complaints. I haven't seen any of these bent or anything if the camera would focus. There's the inside of the right one, if you were curious. Yeah, these look pretty good. No complaints. Same deal with the horizontal stabilizers. These are very nice. They have some good details on them. The attachment with the aircraft is solid. I don't see any issues here. Maybe a glue blob near the joint, but that's something really minor. The engines on this model are slightly oversized, but still within acceptable margins in my opinion. And if we look at the side of the engine nacelle right here, we can see a lot of small white marks. These are actually printed details. They aren't paint imperfections. And it's more than Gemini usually does, so they're stepping up their game when it comes to printed details. That's very nice. The exhaust nozzle looks good. I do see some paint chipping with the silver paint here, but that's kind of minor. It's not that big of a deal. Here's what the fans look like. Nice dark silver color. That looks nice. And also on the inside of the engines, the part facing the fuselage, there's a small Jetblue title right above the engine strake, which is a very nice detail. Now, here's the right engine for completion's sake. This one doesn't have any paint chips on the exhaust nozzle that I can identify. And here is the bottom side of the engine. Something that caught me a bit off guard is that the engine nozzle kind of just cuts off right here and it goes straight into the gray for the pylon. It would have been nice if they could paint the bottom of the pylon silver to match the engine, but I guess I never noticed that before because it's the first time I'm seeing this kind of thing. This model features three-dimensional details on the fuselage, those being antennas and a SATCOM dome. The antennas on this model are pretty good. I've seen a few of them that have been loose, but none that are completely detached from the model. And loose antennas, they're not that big of a deal. The SATCOM dome right here is very nice. You can see two different shades of gray up there. There's the light part towards the bottom half, and then there's the slightly darker gray up there. That's an accurate detail. And also it looks like it's almost perfectly centered, not quite. And the attachment with the fuselage on the left side is good, but here on the right side, I'm not sure what happened here, but there is a decent gap between the fuselage and the dome. It doesn't compromise the structural integrity, but it doesn't look too good in my opinion. Here is the bottom half of the fuselage. Take note of the various small printed details that we can see spread out throughout the bottom half there. Oh, there's the Gemini Jets title, and the JetBlue logo appears to be cut off by the display stand, but the cutoff is very clean, meaning that there's no paint chips or scratches or anything like that. And also, paint application down here looks pretty good. Very good job from Gemini. Right from here, let's move on to the landing gear. Here are the main landing gear. The landing gear on this model, it's solid. It does its job of holding up the model quite effectively, so there's no issue there. And these wheels are made out of rubber, and they do roll. Now, on some of these models, I've seen that the wheels are a bit stiff. That's no big deal, though. Also, the struts are pretty good. I did see on mine that on the right strut, there was actually a piece of hair that was trapped in the paint here, and I was able to pull it out. You can't tell it was there anymore, but that was a little bit gross to see. Now, same story with the nose gear strut. Oh, I do see some paint on the wheel there. No biggie, though. The wheel rolls, the strut looks good, and you can even see the aircraft's fleet number on the gear doors. Here's the side of the model. Here we can see engine clearance. That looks good. The engines aren't hitting the ground. And the way the model sits on its gear, slightly angled forward, that is also accurate. From the front of the aircraft, everything looks good here as well. Wing flex, horizontal stabilizer angle. Vertical stabilizer seems good as well, and the cockpit window printing seems symmetrical. Wow. That concludes my review. Let's go over pros and cons. What did Gemini Jets do well on this model? Virtually everything. The detail on this model is very good. There's lots of details spread around the model, and that looks very nice. The paint colors are pretty much perfectly accurate to the real aircraft, and the paint application was pretty good. I didn't see too many imperfections. We saw some minor ones on the vertical stabilizer, but those can be excused. And of course, the shape of the model is mostly accurate to that of the A320. The only issue I have is the nose shape. So, taking all of this into consideration, I absolutely recommend this model to my fellow collectors. It's decent. It's not perfect, but it is still pretty darn good, and coming from Gemini, this is definitely an improvement from their recent performance. In my experience, I've had several models with some concerning defects, but strangely enough, this one came almost perfectly, and I'm very glad that Gemini Jets did a good job on this one. So if you're considering getting this model, I say go for it. It's pretty good. Well, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. As always, if you have questions or feedback, be sure to leave a comment below. If you're new here and you want to show some support to the channel, like this video and subscribe so you never miss another upload. While you're here, feel free to watch my other videos about the scale models I collect. I almost forgot my outro there for a second. And that's all. Happy building, happy collecting. Please take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.